Hey guys, so we have a teaser here for part 2, and this seems pretty interesting. Now, there's two ways we could look at this. I think the first thing we'll do is we'll just watch the teaser here, and then we'll talk about what I think this could mean. So let's just go ahead and read the post first. So, new character prediction campaign. Use Legends 7th anniversary and post your predictions for the new characters being revealed tomorrow at 14 UTC. So this is normal time. It should be 11 p.m. Japan time, which is 10 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday. So tomorrow is the reveal. Hit 7,777 posts worldwide to get a 7th anniversary campaign item pack. All right, so there is a 16-second clip here that is supposed to be teasing what looks like is related to the new characters. So I think it actually, I did already watch this. I think it is important that you have sound on for this because I think there's a hint not only visually but also through the audio as well. So let's go ahead and take a look. I really think this has pretty damn big implications here. So let's go ahead and see what this is. Let's turn the volume up a little bit. I want to max volume here.
Dragon Ball Legends. Tomorrow, big news right at the beginning.
Okay. So first, before we talk about the big thing, well, the two big things, let's just talk about where this is taking place. There are probably like two options here. I would probably say one is more likely than the other. This is like the Rocky Wasteland. I don't really know like the official name for this area, but I think like Rocky Wasteland is usually what they refer to this as. I think people are going to look at this and they're immediately going to think of Saiyan Saga, Kaioken Goku versus Vegeta. That is probably what I'm thinking as well. Because this is like the iconic area where Goku fought Vegeta. Vegeta does go Great Ape here. Goku does go Kaioken, and that's like the first possibility I think of this. The second possibility is could be Vegito versus Buhan. I don't think so. I don't think so. But Vegito did fight Buhan in this area during part of the fight, not the entire thing, but part of it. To me, this probably is going to be Saiyan Saga, but it's probably for different reasons than just the fact that this is in the Rocky Wasteland. Let's watch this one more time and just pay attention to the sounds. I'll pause as we go through this.
Dragon Ball Legends.
Okay, so the first shot is us kind of looking from a bird's eye view down over the landscape. And you can hear whatever characters are here are throwing punches, throwing kicks, and they're fighting in the air. Like let's just listen again.
Legends.
What does this sound, guys? What does that sound? If you've played this game obviously, if you've played this game as long as me, you know what this sound is. But if you've played this game enough to know what this sound is, I think it's pretty clear what's happening here. This is a dash sound. When you backdash, this is the sound it makes. When you dash from mid-range to close range, this is the sound that it makes. So you can see we're going from this angle to this angle. What do you guys think this means?
Tomorrow.
Also, the sound of the after this. There's two thuds that happen here.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, to me, it's pretty clear this is an indication that ground battles are actually happening. I think that is a really obvious I mean, I don't know. I think that's pretty obvious, but I don't think that's everything. I think it is also possible, if it is Saiyan Saga, that we also could see the first playable giant character. They say big news. I mean, it might not actually mean anything, but this could also be kind of like a play on words. In the Japanese announcement, it is also listed as big news as well, which could also mean like big as in like a physically big thing. So not only could this potentially mean ground battles are coming, which I think is almost like a shoo-in based on this announcement here, but it also could mean we are getting a playable giant Grade 8 Vegeta as well. Think about how big that actually is for the game if that's true. Not only are we potentially getting ground battles for the first time, but also possibly a giant character for the first time. So I mean, if this is actually what they're doing, I don't know why this was not part 1. Maybe it's just the choice of characters they didn't really have like amazing faith in for part 1, but I think they should have found a way. If this is ground battles, and it would have made sense to do ground battles with Tournament of Power, because guess what? You can't fly in the Tournament of Power, right? This is going to be a pretty revolutionary release. If that's the case, and I always say go into these reveals with, tempered I don't want to say low expectations, but tempered expectations. But this to me seems very clear that this is what this is, right? We're looking at the landscape from a bird's eye view almost. There are 2 dash sounds of characters moving very quickly. There are 2 thuds, and then the camera goes from down to up. I mean, that doesn't really get much more obvious, right? So I think it is going to be ground battles finally coming to the game. And then I think there's a possibility. I mean, there's no real indication of this besides the fact that they use the wording big news. And besides the fact that this looks to be Saiyan Saga Goku versus Vegeta, that we also could potentially be getting giant characters that are playable. So let's just go ahead and take a look here. We'll open up some Saiyan Saga stuff just because that's what this appears to be. Saiyan Saga is not really something we have a ton of representation for in terms of like a real host of characters, but we have I would say like most of the big moments are represented here, right? We have Nappa killing Vegeta, we have Goku and Piccolo versus Raditz, we have Raditz himself, and then we have this yellow Goku who was the Goku who fought Nappa, and then we have the really old blue Kaioken Goku here. Well, I say blue, the element blue transforming Kaioken Goku, who does the 4x Kamehameha versus Vegeta. So we technically have like all the major stuff represented. I think Kaioken Goku is long overdue for a new character. I wouldn't really be the biggest. I don't think it's a bad idea for them to go back and revisit Kaioken Goku for the Saiyan Saga for part 2. Again, part 2 of these anniversaries, in terms of character choices, they literally could do like anything. But to me, I am much less interested in the actual character choices as opposed to what these characters are bringing to the table with the new mechanics. Right? That to me is much more important. But in terms of other stuff they could do from the Saiyan Saga, I mean, there's like a lot of side characters we don't have. We don't have Tien from the Saiyan Saga. I think Tien from the Saiyan Saga is actually a pretty important character. We don't have a good Krillin. We don't have a Krillin at all from the Saiyan Saga, I don't think. I mean, yeah, like the EX Krillin from day 1 of the game. That could be a good choice as well. We do have a revival Kid Gohan, who revives into Gohan. It's Gohan and Piccolo who revives into Kid Gohan. I guess we could get that. We don't have like a Piccolo who fought Nappa, kind of, right? We have obviously the Gohan and Piccolo tag character, but we don't have a standalone Piccolo. We could definitely get a new Gohan here. But yeah, there's like some side. I mean, Chaozu. If they did a Tien, I probably would assume that it would be Tien and Chaozu character. But they realistically could just redo like every single one of these characters, besides probably like Yamcha. Like I don't really expect like a new Saiyan Saga Yamcha to drop, because this guy was actually pretty good on release, and I wouldn't really say like Saiyan Saga Yamcha is the most crazy character ever. Like, he didn't really do a ton in this arc besides have the really iconic death. And I don't know how they do that with Yamcha, the death. But I honestly think Nappa could get a new standalone character. Obviously, if they find a way to get a playable giant character in here, Great Ape Vegeta is clearly a character they need to get into the game. And then obviously the biggest omission here is just the fact that we haven't really got a new Kaioken Goku in so long. So we'll see. There's also a possibility this could just be for the 1% Sparkings, but I doubt that's going to be the case. For me, this is probably looking like some kind of Saiyan Saga Part 2. And if that is the case, that then this is, I mean, this really, I mean, this is like a tag mechanic level mechanic, right? I mean, the tag mechanic got introduced into the game. People were actually losing their minds. We get ground battles and or playable giant characters here. I mean, this opens the door for like 1,000 different options, right? We have now, we can do Hirudegarn, we could do Giant Goma, we could do Cell Max, we could do Great Apes of like every Saiyan, right? I mean, the list is pretty endless. We could do Fat Janemba, who transforms into Super Janemba. There's so many giant Bio Broly. There's so many giant characters they could do. So I think that is important, because not being able to do playable giant characters, not only would it be cool to have giant characters playable in the game, but it also limits them in what they can do to represent all of Dragon Ball in the game, right? Not being able to do giant characters means you can't have the full series represented in the game. So I think it is pretty important for them to get this in there. But we'll see. We'll see. At the very least, I do think this pretty much confirms ground battles. I mean, this is going to be pretty important, and they say big news right at the beginning. So I imagine what's going to happen is there's going to be some reveal that ground battles are actually coming to the game right like in the beginning of this. And I think they're probably going to have to spend a lot of time just talking about what this means for the game, right? Every single match that we've played in Dragon Ball Legends for the past 7 years has taken place in the air. All of them. This is the first time we can actually go onto the ground and play the game. So I think there's going to have to be some kind of new battle system entirely. Like when you go to the ground, the game is just going to be different, I think. I don't know. We'll see. But this is potentially like one of the biggest ever mechanics we've ever seen. But again, let's go in with tempered expectations. I'm pretty excited for this now, because I didn't know if they were actually going to do it, but looks like that is what they're doing here. I mean, this is a very clear thing to me, especially if you listen to the audio. Like that's actually pretty important here. So let me know what you guys think. Looks like ground battles are actually coming to the game. And it looks like Saiyan Saga is a likely candidate for Part 2, at least for one banner. So, yep, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one.